this video is going to be an ode. I love that word, ode. An ode to what? An ode to the slop, to the bottom, to the gutters. The divinity of getting your head shat on the moment you came out of the womb. There's something beautiful in that. And yeah, I'm probably only saying that it's beautiful because I'm not that person. But let's not talk about that. That's not the point of this video. These people, you know, they were never really dealt the best set of cards. They're at the table and the dealer's handing out the cards. And, you know, instead of getting the 2 sets of cards in the analogy of Texas Hold'em, they got maybe a half of one, and it's kind of wet. It's like soggy. And they're thinking to themselves, well, how? They're looking at everybody else. How can I make this work? And everybody else says, you don't make it work. You're here so that we feel better about ourselves. You're the person that we look at and think, you know, for as bad as it is for me, at least I'm not that person. And the thing is about these people, that they are truly the best people. They are warm, they're kind, they're gracious, they're understanding. They've just been broken so, I mean, they got shattered to pieces the moment they came into this world. And they've been working with it ever since. And so they're just a beautiful person. And it doesn't matter. Because this society doesn't reward people like that. Nature doesn't reward people like that, unfortunately. I don't know how, I really don't know how these people do it. I mean, just consider, you know, there are probably some really ugly women out there and really ugly men. Ugly. Just ugly. And they might be fat too, and maybe half autistic, and it's just I don't know. You know, I get on these videos and I kind of rag on women, and we're like, you know, we're never gonna get girlfriends, we're never gonna get women, blah blah blah. We've accepted it at this point. But I mean, at least we have a shot. At least we have a shot. There are a good amount of people, a huge amount of people in this world that don't have a shot, that will never have a shot. And this is an ode to them. They're in the bunkers somewhere. They're in the dark corners. They're holed up in a room somewhere, probably just burying their head in books. And that's the only place they're gonna find love, is in a sci-fi fantasy romance novel. They're going on chat rooms and using like little avatars and talking with what they believe to be the opposite sex, who has another avatar. And they kind of just talk like that. And that's maybe the most they'll ever, that's the furthest they'll ever go, because they're 5'3" and 300 pounds, and they got a unibrow. But they live with their mom, and they do everything for her, and they love her to death, and they're the kindest person to their siblings and to everybody they meet, and they always say hi to people on the street. And that's just a hard life, man. I'm not, there's no point to this video other than I'm just saying, holy shit. Like, holy shit, man. Like, some people got it fucking terrible out there. And it'll never get better. You know, like, it'll get marginally better, I guess. What? For a man, like, if you hold your nuts in, if you stop jerking off to the sights, if you can let go, if you can somehow let go of a Bella Danger and Riley Reid and Tommy King and all of them, Sarah J and Lisa Ann. Lisa Ann's a throwback. Freaking, what's her name? I always forget her name, but she's just a gangbang queen. And Corey Chase, that chick just loves it. Like, why is it just a gangbang every video of hers? But anyway, I digress, man. Let me not bring this stuff up, because now you're thinking about it. But look, if you can somehow let go of that, easier said than done. I think you can make the most of the cards that were dealt to you. You can, your nuts will take you home. Your nuts will lead you to the promised land. And the promised land might kind of look like the eastern part of Minnesota. You know, it just kind of, or maybe the Dakotas or something. And you're kind of like, there's like an oil rig out there, and there's a billboard about meth. You know, but that, and that's as good as it'll get for you, but it's better than where you came from. It's better than the dungeons, the ghouls, the dark cells from which you ascended. You can make the most of your life if you hold your nuts in. If you're a man. If you're a woman, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You know, if you're a man and you got dealt the shit end of the stick, the genetic fucking I don't know, whatever the opposite of the lottery is. If you're in genetic debt, if you were born with genetic student loans upwards of $3 billion, and you were like, hold on. Hold on. I was just born. How is this a thing? I didn't even do anything yet. How is this fair? I don't have an answer for you. But if you're 5'6" as a man, it's gonna be rough for you. If you're ugly, it's gonna be even rougher. If you're heavy, it's gonna be even rougher. If you got a great personality, that's not going to help you much. But you have a trajectory. You can make the most of your life. Perhaps you might be able to get a great woman for yourself. And yeah, she's not going to look like Sydney Sweeney. Okay, you'll probably never get Sydney Sweeney. You're going to have to make peace with that. Okay? We're all going to have to make peace with the fact that we can get the best that we can get with the cards that we were dealt. Look, I wasted all of my 20s. There's so much semen out there in the sewers of the country. That's mine. You know, that went down the pipes, and I'm never getting it back. It's no longer in my body. And that did a number on me. I'm almost 33 years old, living in a basement. Had a limp dick for 12 years. Was working with nothing. I basically had a vagina down there. Women were coming up to me and spitting game, and, well, not really, but I had some women that pursued me, and I just couldn't because they didn't know that I was a lesbian. That we'd have to scissor, and they would get confused. That the only thing that I could do was, assume the position of a sad dog and just go to town with my tongue. That's all I could really do, man. So, look, we all get dealt some really weird, nasty, kind of crazy cards. All right? But you just got to work with what you got. I can turn this into an inspirational thing, I think. However low you started, maybe you started literally in the negatives, not even from zero. You started at underground. You were buried. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna stay there? You're just gonna stay there? I mean, you can probably stay there. I mean, what are you gonna get when you really climb at the end of the day? What do you really get? I mean, it's a journey of self-discovery, so I guess you get that. I guess it's not really about the destination. It's about the journey. I'm sure that's an original quote. I don't think anybody's ever said it like that before. But what are you gonna do? Stay in the slop? Stay in the muck? Get a little dirty? Start to get sloppy? I mean, hey, there's some divine shit down there. I'm sure there is. In the crack houses, in the whorehouses, in the dark bedroom basements, full of just old pizza and 7-Eleven cups, and just full of just shit. Just never gets cleaned. Never gets cleaned. Last time the bed sheets were cleaned was 8 months ago. I don't know. There is something special about that. I'm not quite sure what it is, but there is, you know. And look, there's just a segment of society, most of society, that have it pretty damn hard. And they never get a voice because nobody cares. Nobody cares. Because we've dismissed them from the very jump, and they've dismissed themselves. They don't think that they have anything to say. They don't think that they have anything to do. Who's that? I want to meet you. Who's the guy that just knew it from the jump? He knew it from the time he was 4 years old. He said, he went up to his mother and he said, "You know what, Mom?" As she's cooking some pasta. And she says, "Honey, I really don't have time for this right now." And he says, "It's going to be a rough life for me. I'm fucked, aren't I?" And she says, "What?" "Honey, I'm on the phone." You know, and he just kind of walks away. He knew that there was never anything for him. He was never going to be an athlete. He was going to get into some niche fringe anime. You know, he'd probably be decent with computers, but he probably just has a skill that could not be commercialized in any way, and that no women found interest in. You know, he's kind of the human equivalent of a pug. A pug that's into anime, and you know, there are tons of people like that. There are probably billions of people like this that are just in the dark corners of the world. They're in the muck. You never see them. You never see them, but they got hearts bigger than the city of Paris. And how are they not changing the world? Because they're not beautiful. Because they're not beautiful. Because they're not well spoken. I mean, do you ever think about the person that got? There has to be a person on this planet today that fucked over the hardest. I mean, damn. You start thinking about that, it's like, I mean, we're getting into like some degenerative diseases type shit, you know, brain injury type shit. I mean, that's just, I don't even know what that is. How does God, what are you doing, son? How do you let this happen? I mean, but there's people that take care of people like that. You know what I mean? Like those are the people. I guess I just wanted to get on this camera and just say, you know what? It could be a lot worse, boys. It could be a lot worse. And there are some people that deal with the worst cards that you could ever imagine. And they got smiles on their faces, and they're taking care of people that got neuromuscular degenerative diseases. And they're deliriously happy because they can just go home and have pasta and watch some Netflix. Like, that's divine. Like, that's, if anything's divine, like, that's got to be divine. And you know, here we are just like bitching because DoorDash didn't drop it on the right doorstep. It didn't come fast enough. It was a little cold when it got here. I can't get a hot enough woman. I can't get a woman that hasn't slept with many guys. She slept with too many guys. I don't know. I don't know where this is headed, but I think I've said enough. I think I've gotten my point across. My point should be obvious. I'm sure it's not at all hard to understand. It's pretty just self-evident. So anyway, an ode to the bottom. You know, love you guys wherever you are. Stay strong. I know you will, because you're stronger than all of us. But like, holy shit, how do you do it? That's it. This video.